What unintended consequences of the Fed actions are you most worried about, or are you kind of at the top of your mind? Every policy has unintended consequences, but
Absolutely.
yeah, but I guess I'm wondering what's at the top of your list?
The top of my list would be that we settle financial markets, which we very much need to, but then financial markets themselves get a sense that things are better than they really are. And they don't behave in the prudent way that they need to. And so we need to, as while we're doing all of these, making all of these efforts to ensure that we shore up financial markets, we also have to be very mindful of financial excesses and financial stability and how are banks doing and using supervisory powers to ensure that we have a stable financial system that is not just shored up through a crisis, but is actually very robust, resilient for the future shocks we may get as the virus unfolds. So that's top of my mind because, again, Wall Street and Main Street are highly connected. And if there's a financial disturbance, if the financial sector starts to get shaky, which it isn't right now, that hurts every American. And we saw that in the financial crisis. So that's top of mind.
Yeah. Um, you've spoken specifically about commercial real estate, that you're keeping a close eye on that as a good gauge of kind of financial stability and health, especially in your region. Do you think that more is going to be needed for commercial real estate, more aid of some sort?
Well, there, I think that's a sector that's really going to have to think about their business model, right? The pandemic has accelerated a lot of the trends that were already starting. You saw the trend towards maybe we'll have remote work, maybe we won't need as many vehicles, maybe we won't need as much office space. This was all starting to happen. Hoteling, this idea that you can go into an office just one day a week. That was all there, and a fraction of the population, a very small fraction, was using it. And then we have COVID. People go back to shelter in place and now we have companies around the 12th district saying they may never bring back their workforces to the physical spaces that they were in. This is going to have a meaningful impact on commercial real estate, on cities that house these big companies, and we're going to have to rethink all of this. So, I think one thing that's really important in this period right now is that we begin to think not how do we get the world back to what it looked like before COVID, but how do we, in fact, pivot and work on the world that's likely to emerge, which is one where there probably will be less of a footprint of our companies in our cities and the need for other things other than commercial real estate. So I think those are things cities are just starting to think about, but it's probably beneficial for all of us to start looking at a world that's going to come out of COVID as opposed to thinking about how we manage the world we had before.